Good morning. Off on another adventure today. Tammy and I are going to cross over these mountains and through a couple valleys and up another mountain and hopefully off to find some gold in the pine trees. Good morning, Tammy.
Good morning.
And I'll get back to you guys in a bit. We're halfway up the hill here, Yarnell Hill, and down below is the valley. Quite a view from up here. You got about another half hour driving, and we'll be up there in the mountains. Also, I should note that Rich Hill's just over the hill there. And we're going to go up through the mountains here, through Yarnell and on up to the Prescott area. Quite a view in here. We're coming into Yarnell just in time for the local parade, it appears, and we're part of it until we get through town here. Slowing us down just a little bit. You gotta love the backcountry. This is a fun little mountain town. Good food, good friendly people, and a lot of foo-fa stuff if you want to buy it. There's more foo-fa stuff here you can shake a stick at. Every kind of candle, clock, piece of metal, shiny glass baubles. They got it in Yarnell. Signing off. See you in a minute. Sometimes we forget here in Arizona just how beautiful our state can be and how versatile. We've come over the mountain now. If you notice, most of the cactus are gone. We're at the split of the highway here. One goes to Kirkland Junction, one goes to Prescott. We're going to be taking the route to Prescott. Hey, this is an old, well, it was a bar for years, and now it's part of Mon Ranches. You hear the chihuahuas barking in the background. Sounds like our house with chihuahuas barking in the background. These hand-built buildings are pretty cool. And if you look around, you'll start seeing these boulders are full of copper minerals. They're all from one of the local mines. Just thought I'd stop and give you a look at them. It's pretty neat just seeing this stuff laying around everywhere. Only in Arizona, my friends. Off we go. Well, we made it into the cool pines. It's a nice area right here. Not going to say too much about it. We just stopped off here to have a little lunch. Then we're going to head up the road a ways and go up a side road and off to our placer area. Just a few miles in Arizona. The next thing you know, you're in the pine trees. Talk to you in a minute. Bit of a hike. Got to go over a couple ridges. A whole lot different than our desert. And it's kind of warm up here. But we talk about tailings all the time. And lo and behold, you get up here a little ways, you start looking around a little bit. Looky here. These are dry wash tailings into the old schist, which is the rock that looks like a deck of cards broke apart there. And they worked this little wash years ago. We're just going to follow this trail up ahead here for a ways and talk to you in a minute. Last time Tammy and I came up into this area, she got her very first nugget and also her very first bad case of chiggers. So she's a little gun shy. We're hoping that it's been dry enough this spring that the chickers ain't out yet. They like to get in the grass and wait for you to walk by and get up in your pants. That's not good. We got DEET on, so hopefully that'll help this trip. And we're just about up here where we want to be. Like I said, it's a bit of a hike. Hopefully it'll be worth it. Alrighty, we've come up here through the bushes. Hi Tammy.
Hi.
And we come through a little gap right here. Not much of a gap, but if you look down right here, we walked into a bunch of dry wash piling. You can see there's greenstone in there, some ironstone in front of the coil tip there. More dry wash piles. Most of the pine piles have washed away many years ago. The old timers worked the whole top of this hillside. And again, what we're looking for here is evidence of the old timers. We're following the dry washers, as my good friend Jim Strait titled one of his books called Follow the Dry Washers, the Nugget Shooter's Bible. And Jim Strait's a big reason I learned to find gold. I think Tammy's already getting set up to hunt. And I think I'll do the same thing and join her. Beautiful day out here. Listen to the wind through the pines, and let's get us some gold. We'll be using the Gold Monster 1000 again today. And facing out of the sun a little bit again here. You can see where my settings are. I'm running in Auto 1. Volume all the way up, because again I don't have headphones on today. I got a full battery, and we're in deep. And just like the other videos I've done, when you ground balance the Gold Monster, you got to do it over a little bit of an area, up and down to the ground, taking from 10, 15 seconds, maybe a little less, till it quiets down. Hear that? Quiet. It's ready to hunt. Pretty simple, really. Anytime it gets a little bit noisy again, just repeat a quick few pumps with the ground balance. It's all automatic and it'll take care of you. As long as you keep moving, you're good. If you hold still for any amount of time, or take the coil more than 8 inches off the ground, you're going to need to do it over again. But keep the machine running quiet. See how I held still there? I have to rebalance. As long as I keep moving from here, it's going to stay in balance for me. That's all there is to the Gold Monster. Again, my settings, I'm going to get a nugget. This area is so heavily hunted. I think I've been at it now for probably about a half hour. I was balanced against standing here. At it about a half hour. And still have not dug a single target. And the ground's quite hot here. Takes a little while to get balanced. And she quiets right down. As long as you move nice and slow, it works quite well. Get over a little noisy spot, give it a bump. I was hearing some kind of a weird sound over here. It almost sounded like a dog crying, like maybe he was stuck or he'd gotten away and was lost up here, or perhaps had his chain leash tangled around a tree. But I got up here to where the noise was. I heard it one last time, and it's silent. And I don't see any evidence or hear anything of a dog. I'm guessing maybe it's some kind of bird I'm not familiar with. They're just making some kind of a funky lost dog sound to attract the unwary prospector. I guess I better get back at hunting. Talk to you soon. In a hammered area like this, I'm trying to get back into this brush under these dead trees. Branches, anywhere it's prickly that other people really don't want to poke their machines. That's just a hot rock. I can balance that out if you watch. Gone. Okay. Unfortunately, when you balance a hot rock out like that, it makes some of the ground around it a little bit hotter, but it still eliminated that one hot rock, and similar ones like that one. Still hot rock, but not quite as severe now, because the machine's learned it. There's a lot of them here. It's ironstone. It'll snap to a magnet. Nice place like this with very few targets. You know, everybody's been over all these open spots 100 times. You know, the tailings piles and spots that are wide open and you can walk in easy. But for fear of snakes, chiggers, and other such things, sometimes they won't go into these spots back here, and it pays the detectors to get back in there with this coil. Out of balance again here. There we go. And see if there's anything up under these trees that somebody else didn't want to poke around. The only problem with this is cool as that may seem, getting into all these tight places, the bad part is when you get a target, you got to get on your hands and knees most time and get under there and crawl it. And then dig while you're crawling, which can be rather unpleasant. I just want to get a target. Okay, I'm back. Yesterday was one of those days. The battery died on about halfway through the day, so I wasn't able to get any more footage after I last told you we weren't finding any gold out there. And we didn't find any gold out there. And believe it or not, that's pretty much part of what we do. You have to have enough patience when you're out in the field to understand that just because you're in a good spot or everything feels right when you get out there, you're not necessarily going to find gold every trip. I wish it was the other way around, because it sure would be nice to go out and get 5 or 6 nuggets every trip. We hunted the rest of that hill, and probably for another 2 hours we stayed on that hill. Didn't find even a single piece of trash. Not one bullet, not one bit of wire, not one tack, not one piece of aluminum, and not even a gold nugget. Which kind of surprised me. Back in the past, that area had a lot of trash. I mean, we could go up there and expect to dig dozens of little pieces of trash. And I don't know if it's just because so many people have been in that area now, or if it's simply because the technology that we have available to us now is allowing most of that stuff to get cleaned up. And the area up there is very shallow. I mean, we don't have, most areas we're hunting, you don't have but 6 or 8 inches maximum over the top of the actual bedrock that's up there. And everything from VLFs to PI detectors have been up there, and it's just been hammered. I'm going to go into a little more detail here about the gold monster. And the last 2 videos I've shot, you see me hunting with the gold monster, and that's Tammy's favorite detector as well. I don't know whether it's absolutely my favorite detector, but it is my absolute favorite VLF gold nugget detector. The newer technology and the microprocessors that's on board this machine just blows me away at how deep it will hear small pieces, and actually at how deep it'll hear larger size pieces for a VLF machine. And for just general all-around hunting or prospecting, exploring new areas, it's almost become my exclusive go-to. And now if I'm going back and hunting deep ground or something along those lines, I do use my GP 3500. But for most general monkeying around out here in these beat up patches out here at San Domingo, I'm really liking the gold monster. And it may not find me a lot of big stuff in some of these areas, simply because the big stuff's been hunted out. But it is finding all the small stuff that we've left behind for years using other detectors. The gold monster is very different, as I said before, with a microprocessor. And as a result of this, people are buying the machine from dealers or online, and they're not being offered any training on the machine and being told, well, it's just a turn on and go machine, you won't have any trouble. As a result of this, there's been some unhappy customers, and it's not because of the machine itself, it's because they don't understand how to use it. One of the main complaints is that it's bump sensitive. If you bump something, it gives you a false signal, or if you move too fast, it gives false signals. 90% of the people having this issue have simply not been shown how to properly balance and get this machine tuned in and ready to hunt. Yeah, I've gone over in a couple of the videos I've done to show you how to ground balance a machine, and I plan on in the future going into an actual training video for the Gold Monster. I just haven't gotten to it yet, so little time, and start to get hot here in the desert now. If the machine is balanced properly, and when it's balanced properly, it's been given what we call an averaging of the ground. So you want to move the coil around as you're balancing, as I've shown several times. The reason for this is the microprocessor gets a taste of the ground, if you will, but it learns the ground that you're going to hunt. And once stable, it'll stay stable as long as you keep that machine moving and you're hunting. Bad thing is, people don't understand that if you hold still for any period of time and holding the coil on one spot on the ground, or you walk a distance and you got the coil sideways as you're holding the machine and it's off the ground more than 8 inches, the machine's going to tune itself or balance itself or track itself, however you want to put it, to that one little spot of ground or to the air. Once this has happened, you've got to go through the ground balance procedure again. You've got to get down on the ground and pump the machine and give it a taste of the ground over a 2 square foot area, something about that big. And that gives the machine an idea of the ground you plan on working. And it's going to make quite a bit of noise at first sometimes. It's kind of a as you move around, and as you're moving around, it'll lessen and lessen, and finally just go flat to where it's quiet. And it's ready to hunt at that point. It's not the machine being bump sensitive and falsing when moved too fast. Number one, if you move the coil too fast with any machine, VLF or pulse induction, I should say with any gold detector, because of the technology it has to be used to handle our hot ground, if you give that machine too much speed when you're moving, it's going to be confused. It's going to have trouble staying balanced because the ground here changes so much. And in just a few feet, the ground can change 2 or 3 times in mineralization because we have so much iron, copper, salts. I mean, you name it, it's in the ground out here in these gold fields from decomposing minerals. And that can be a problem. If you move the machine nice and slow, it's able to keep up with itself and balance out a lot of this stuff as you move along. As far as being bump sensitive goes, like I said, 9 times out of 10, it's simply the machine is not balanced properly. So when you bump into something or you move a little too fast, it's going to give you false signals. And I had the same problem when I first started out with the machine. And I've told several people this. I think I've told just about everybody this. I tried to use my 27 years of experience and just turn the machine on and go. And I found out very quickly that this was different than anything I've ever used before. Once I got it mastered, which took all of an hour or 2 of using the machine how it was supposed to be used, I found it to be my favorite little VLF machine available today. And I'm going to get out a little jar and show you some of the gold I found with this machine here. Quite a spell since shortly after they're introduced. And I've been keeping all the little nuggets I found with it. And last count I was up to, I think it was 102, but I put several in there since then. But this is all Gold Monster gold. It's quite a pile of little nuggets. And it's a lot of fun finding them. These are all, I shouldn't say all, but most of these are from areas that have been hit pretty hard with a lot of different machines over the years. And the gold monster is able to get these nuggets out of there. You know, funny thing is, you see that pile of nuggets, you think, holy cow, that's a lot of gold right there. Well, I guess it is if you count how many little nuggets are sitting there. But the reality is, it's just over a ½ ounce. And I guess one of these days I'll get to an ounce, but there'll sure be a lot more pieces there. Sure be a lot more pieces there when I do. You can notice some of this stuff's very, very small. Very small. And they were no more than just a little chirp on the surface. And some of these also were awful deep for the size you're looking at right here. But what I'm saying is, even in the pounded areas, this detector is able to sniff out and get you into some pretty nice gold if you have the patience to learn how to use it. As we move along in these videos, I hope that I can get a lot more people, a lot more knowledge, and get you going and getting on to your first ½ ounce of gold monster nuggets. It sure is a lot of fun finding them, my friends. It really is. Until next time, this is Nugget Shooter signing off.